Hey trader, and welcome back to IFX Success. I'm so excited that you're here, and let's actually go over the AutoBlock dashboard. Well, this is going to be more of the AutoBlock strategy using the 4-hour breaker and a 15-minute breaker. But first, before we actually move on and start on the strategy, let's just actually, what is an AutoBlock and what really works out in here. So the first thing that you need to know is that, of course, we have a market structure, right? We know that the market goes up and it goes up in different waves, right? It doesn't go up in a straight line, and it consolidates, and then the market eventually breaks structure, and then it starts moving to the downside, right? So this is pretty much going up. So we have here an up market, right? This is an uptrend. Why is it considered an uptrend? Well, we know that here, right over here, we have that the market made it higher high. So this was a high, this is a higher high, this is a low, and the market made a higher low. Right over here, we have same highs. We kind of have a consolidation. The market here, pretty much we could say, we broke structure, and then the market made a lower high, and then it just keeps making lower lows, right, and lower highs. So this is pretty much the market structure, right? So now this is considered a downtrend, and then eventually the market will go to the upside, and then that is just pretty much what the market does over and over. And you can see this on different time frames. The higher the time frame, you can see it much clearer, you can see it much better. What is the market structure? If the market is going in an uptrend, then if we identify an uptrend on a higher time frame, what we're looking for is to move down to a lower time frame to look for entries, right? That is pretty much what we're doing. So what is an AutoBlock? When AutoBlock is that we are boxing up, when the market makes structure to the upside. Of course, right over here, the market, let's just say market eventually was coming down, it broke structure to the upside. So the market drew a box. When the market was coming down, it made a low, and it found it blocking the last bullish candle after the market made a new low, and then this bullish candle then becomes an AutoBlock, and then once the market breaks it to the upside, it will become a breaker. So the market will go up, it will come back to the breaker. Sometimes we'll have a breaker retest, the market will go, will bounce off in here. This acts as a support. Then the market will go up again, and we will create another box over here because the market made a new high. And if this box gets broken, well, again, it would act as a support. Or if it breaks, the market will change structure and start to go down. Then right over here, the market made a new high compared to this high, so then the indicator will box in again another AutoBlock. And let's say the market, that's it, doesn't make a new high, and let's just say in here the market made a new high right over here, and the block now got broken, right? It actually now will be colored in, it will be broken, and the market now is telling me, hey, we're shifting the structure now we're going to the downside, so let's get ready and look for selling opportunities. And that's exactly what the indicator or the AutoBlock strategy is working, right? Once we get a breaker, meaning that the market broke below, then this becomes a resistance, and then the market there, we can look for selling opportunities here. The market comes back down in here. The market sometimes will come back in here and retest it and keep on going lower. And that is exactly what we're looking for. So over here, then we would have, breaker, AutoBlocks forming. And, if the market decides to turn around, then once it breaks, then that is what is going to happen. So I know it's kind of hard to see it like this, but that's pretty much what we're doing. We're drawing blocks that is going to determine when the market is changing structure, and then when we can look for buying or selling opportunities. So let's take a look at here. Let's take a look at here, pound dollar, or maybe pound New Zealand. and we're gonna actually just take a look in here. All right, so I know we see a lot of stuff going on in here. I'm gonna try to keep it as simple. Let me just actually use this, which is much clearer. And what do we have over here? Well, we're able to tell right over here, these are breakers already. So we're looking at the 4-hour time frame, okay? And this were before there were open boxes, just like how you see it over here. It was an open box, but then it got broken, so we need a candle to close below the box, and then once it breaks, it becomes a breaker. And then this is already letting me know that we have a shift in the market, that the market is gonna go down, right? So what does the market do? It comes back up in here, it will retest this area. This is called the zone, to break a retest zone, and the market, boom, it went all the way down. The market kind of stayed in here, made a new low compared to this low over here. Then it created a block, and then once the block was broken, then we had a small buying opportunity, which was very short compared to this one, right? So yes, there are different cycles in which we have to determine, there are longer cycles and there are shorter cycles, but at least we're going to be able to determine that with the breaker. So let's say you got in, you bought, you got out. Over here we kind of had some resistance, a breaker resistance from prior. Then over here it created another breaker. So this was an order block. Once it closed below, the market retreats back into this zone. So this right here became a selling zone. All of this right here, from the breaker all the way to the top, this is considered a selling zone, right? And what did the market do? It retraced back in here, and then boom, from there we just had a nice drop. So this is pretty much what we're looking for. We're looking for breaker retest mainly. This is what we're doing though, especially on a higher time frame. So if we're looking at the 4-hour, what are we looking for? We move down to 15 minutes or even 5-minute time frames to look for entering opportunities. So this is pretty much what a breaker is. In an order block is the one that it will be an open block. So let me show you right over here what is the open block. Just had some alerts that I want to show you in a little bit. So right over here, this is 15 minutes, and this is now a order block, right? An order block now is that the market made a new low, and it created an order block using the last bullish candle. So I look to my left. If I use this signal right over here, if I look to my left, this is now going to be my bullish block, right? Once it gets broken, then we're going to look for buying opportunities. But not just that, what is going on under the 4 hours currently? On the currently, this was actually, it didn't close it because, we had a gap, but this is a bullish order block breaker, right? The market now is above it. It has acted as a support. And so under the 15 minutes, what we're looking for, if I move down to 15 minutes, I'm looking for 15-minute breakers, the green ones, in order to buy. So like right over here, we had a selling opportunity. But if we go based on the strategy 4-hour and 15-minute, then this selling opportunity would not be valid, right? Of course, there are some rules that we can change up. There are different strategies that I use in order to enter maybe in here, but for right now, let's use up the 4-hour and 15 minutes. So if we get a bearish breaker, which will be this one, then we will ignore it because under the 4-hour, we have a bullish breaker. We're going with the direction of the higher time frame, okay? So if we were doing that, if I go back in history, we pretty much had a breaker right over here to the buy side, so we would have gotten in here. Then we had a bearish breaker right over here. We would just ignore that. Then we will buy again on this breaker. When the candle closes above this box, then that's what we will buy. So either we will buy here. So we have two options of buying. We could either buy right away as soon as we get the breaker. We will buy either at this was the candle, that gave us the breaker, we would either buy it on the next candle, or we will wait for a retracement on this zone to be able to buy and get a better price. Of course, there will be times when that would not happen and we would not get a retracement. Like over here, you're able to tell we would not get a retracement. The market just pretty much shoot up after that, right? Then over here, we had another selling opportunity. But again, if we're looking, going based under the 4-hour time frame, then that would not be valid. Then this one will be a valid one. So the market gave us a breaker right over here. It retraced back. This would have been a valid entry, and then this would have worked out very nicely. Let's say we would have entered somewhere around here. This worked out for almost 80 pips, okay? So this is pretty much what we're looking for. So right now, if we get a breaker, you know, this is an open block, an open auto block. If we get closed in to the buy side, then that's what we'll be looking for. So you're going to get an alert, like you see over here. It says $dollar M15 sell alert, bearish breaker, Bitcoin M15 buy alert, bullish, $dollar M5 sell, bearish breaker. So bearish and bullish, you know, you would know what is it that you want to do, right? So it's just giving you an idea that you want to buy or sell, but of course we have to keep analyzing the market. But this is the best thing about this, is that now we're going to have a dashboard, which is right over here. So now that you have an idea of an auto block, right? An auto block is just giving us a shift, a heads up in the shift in the market, and a breaker is already giving us that the market is already changing structure. Either if it was going in an uptrend and we had a breaker, a bearish breaker, that means the market could change structure going to the downside. And if the market was going to the downtrend, and if we get a breaker now, a bullish breaker, then that means that we now have a market structure that is going into the upside, right? So that's pretty much it that when it comes to breakers. So now what do we have over here? We have a nice dashboard, which you can use on currency pairs. So right over here, we have two currency pairs, euro dollar and pound dollar. You can also use it on metals. So I have here gold. You can also use silver. Right over here, we have another currency pair. We have Bitcoin. So it works on Bitcoin or any other, if your broker offers any other, pretty much Bitcoin, all that stuff, you can actually put it in here. We have indices over here. We have the US 30 and the SP 500, so it works on that as well. And then we have here two stocks, Facebook and Google. I do not trade them. I do trade gold, but I do not trade this. I take a look at Bitcoin, but I do not trade this. This is just for some of you who are interested that, hey, you can trade all type of instruments using this strategy, and you can use the dashboard. If you don't want to use, any of that, then I have over here only currency pairs, right? So again, you can trade only currency pairs. You can have as many as you want, or you can actually have, be a little bit selective and use some instruments, some metals. I like gold a lot. I'm taking a look at Bitcoin, never really traded Bitcoin, so I'm really interested into learning, how to trade Bitcoin. So I'm going to be able to tell, how the market behaves in here. All right. So what do we have here is a dashboard. We have here the daily candle moving average. So for me, I put this in here because it's very important just to me kind of where am I situated on a daily time frame. I'm using the 5 simple moving average. So pretty much this is letting me know if I'm above or below that moving average. And I kind of have an idea. All right, so maybe, let's say here we have a bullish breaker on a daily, but now we are below the moving average. So that means that the market had already had a nice uptrend, and now the market is changing structure into the downside, right? So maybe the market right now is in between on euro dollar, because we have, as you can tell, we have a bullish 4-hour breaker, we have a daily 4-hour breaker, and so it has been in an uptrend for a very long time. But this is now good that we are below the moving average, so we could maybe in the future be looking now for selling opportunities. Okay, so now what do we have here? We have the 4-hour and the daily candles. So right over here is telling me the current candle, how's this happening? So we have two bullish candles, pretty much everybody is almost bullish. This is two bearish. So what is this really going to tell me? Well, this is really going to tell me a lot. I like to trade a lot based on the current candles. Remember, if you're a day trader or a scalper, it's very important that you actually, if you're trading just for that particular date, or if you like to leave your trades for a longer period of time, then maybe the moving average is also good to know. Like if you're above and you're bullish in here, well, we know that, hey, maybe it could take few days to keep on going into that direction, right? Obviously, it's always good to see the chart, but at least this is giving me heads up of what's going on. Now, I like to trade based on the candle direction, right? Just for one example, let's say right over here on pound dollar. So we have bullish, we are above the moving average, and right over here, this zones, we're just going to talk about pound dollar, but right over here on these zones, what is this telling me? This is going based on the current breakers. So this is the pips, how many pips I am away from the current breakers, okay? So it's also, once you're in the zone, like let's say Bitcoin is currently under the 4-hour breaker, which is bearish, is in the zone. So let's just take a look at Bitcoin just for a second, just to kind of see what is the zone and stuff like that. So I actually highlighted it already, but so this is a breaker, meaning to the downside. The price is right now in the zone, which the zone is pretty much from the breaker to the high of this candle. This is considered a selling zone, right? So on the dashboard, you're gonna be able to tell, okay, it's red under the 4 hours, so that means I'm in the zone. So maybe I could be looking for selling opportunities. Well, don't get too far, let's not fast forward, but at least that is what we're looking for, right? Something like that. Hey, I'm already in the zone. So this is a selling zone. And right here at the bottom, we have a buying zone from the breaker all the way to the bottom. Of course, let me just color it in, so that it represents what is it that we're doing. So this is a buying zone. Of course, the market didn't retrace back into this zone. It just kept on going higher, and that it had a nice up move, right? So we had a breaker to the upside, and the market just shoot up after that. Then we just had a couple of breakers on Bitcoin. Here it went down. We had a selling opportunity right over here. Then over here it went up, but it didn't keep on going higher. It just kind of stalled for a while in here. And then this was the breaker that actually worked out much better, right? This one right over here, and then this is where we currently are. Is it possible that we can look for selling opportunities? Well, it is possible. So this is the 4-hour time frame. So again, we have to, once we know what is going on under 4 hours, then we can look for selling opportunities under the 15 minutes. So right now we are on a selling zone. Let me just get rid of this right over here because it's not letting me see what's going on. Let me just do this like that. So right over here, we had a 15-minute bearish breaker, right, under the 15 minutes on Bitcoin. So if I already had a 4-hour breaker, then this would have been a short selling. Right over here, it would just be a sell, and maybe if you want to keep on holding much longer. But right now, this was a selling opportunity. Well, right now the market is going back up again. We're in the zone. So what we're doing is we are waiting for another bearish breaker so that we can resell again, right? That will be the strategy over here if we're going the 4-hour and 15-minute strategy, right? That is all we're doing. So if we take a look at here at the dashboard again, so Bitcoin, right over here, Bitcoin is bearish under the 4-hour. We are in the zone. I'm waiting for a 15-minute breaker to happen, bearish, right? So I could sell. And I also would like to see, let's say right at this moment, we get a bearish breaker. But if my 4-hour and daily candle are bullish, I am not going to enter in that trade. Okay, I'm not going to enter. I am going to ignore it. I need to see at least my 4-hour candle going in the same direction. But if that's not happening, then I'm not going to enter, because if you're going against those candles, you're going against the current, and I really do not suggest going against the current. So the first thing that I really suggest doing when you're looking at the AutoBlock dashboard is that, all right, so I have 4-hour and daily candle, we are all bullish. Well, you know what? I would like to look for buying opportunities. So let's say right now we have 4-hour bullish breaker, and then we got a 15-minute breaker on the euro dollar. Well, then this now would be a nice buying opportunity, right? So let's say here on pound dollar, we have bullish candles, we have a bearish breaker under the 4-hour. Although, yeah, we are bullish on the daily, we are bullish under the 1-hour. But if we're going based on the 4-hour and 15-minute strategy, then this would be nice, right? 4-hour and 15 minutes, because maybe we just got a retracement back to the zone in the 4-hour breaker. But if my candles are still bullish, I am not going to sell on here, right? I am just going to ignore it, because I do not want to go against these two candles. So I'm going to show you another right over here. So let's say right now we had a pound yen M15 sell alert, right? Bearish breaker. So you're gonna get this type of alerts, and this is only the currency. So what do I see over here? I really wish to have either 1-hour and 4-hour breakers. I have a daily. Yes, that is good. We are close to the zone on the daily, right? So I'm 9 pips away, and I have a 4-hour bearish candle. Is this good enough? I mean, this could be a risky trade, because I really would like this one of these high time frames, or if we're just only going under the 4-hour and 15-minute, then you would just completely ignore it. This is how you become selective when you get an alert. You just take a look quickly at your dashboard and say, you know what, I have a 4-hour breaker bullish, and at least I would like maybe the daily candle going bearish as well, so I can maybe go in here. So let's say if you want to go against your 1-hour and 4-hour, at least I would like my daily candle to be bearish, right? Going in my direction. Look, right now this candle turned bullish, so this is not a strong entry. So let's take a look at pound yen just to kind of analyze it and see what is going on. So I'm going to open pound yen and I move this to the side. So take a look in here. Pound yen. So this was the bearish breaker, right? And we can see we have a strong daily up candle. So this is not good at all. This is just, I really, don't want to go against this. So anyways, under the 4-hour, we have a bullish breaker. So over here, we had a bullish breaker going to the upside, right? So of course, the market went up. If you would have gotten in here, you would have just been in a small drawdown. The market came back down to retest the breaker, and then from there, the market went up, right? So this would have been a nice entry. So if we go back, this was a nice bullish breaker, going based on the 4-hour breaker. So this was a bullish breaker. Then the market, what did the market do? So if you go based on your breaker on higher time frame, and you go based on your daily candle or even 4-hour candle, well, there's really no time to lose, right? You don't have to think about it no more. So you have to, you can't be paralyzed and say, oh my God, is it really gonna work or not? So now this is really going to help you make quicker decisions. Your analysis is going to really decrease by a lot, but your output is going to increase by a lot. Why? Because your analysis is going to be short. You're going to be like, you know what, I'm going to ignore that, move on. And now your output is going to be increasing, because you're going to be taking a lot more trades that are really worth it, instead of taking trades that are not worth it, that are just not worth your time and wasting time on those, right? So You know, of course, there are breakers that are, you know, are short-term breakers and don't work that much, but you know that we can go in detail later on. But right now, all we're doing is looking at 15 minutes and 4-hour strategy. So this was an awesome entry right over here. This was another entry, good entry right here. We're going to ignore this just because, well, hello, I mean, you know, like we are bullish. So this is pound yen. We are bullish candles, you know, they're not too strong. And I only have a daily, but I really prefer to see one of these two and at least 4 hours. So that way I know that this is gonna go stronger to my side, right? That I'm not going to suffer in this trade. There's one really good trade. So in here, like we have bearish candles, right? 2 bearish candles, that's thumbs up. Yeah, okay, we're above, but it's okay. You know, we don't have, you know, at least we're gonna enter right now. We have 2 bearish candles. I have a bearish 4-hour breaker. I have a bearish 1-hour breaker, and I had a bearish 15 minutes. Ooh, this looks good. So let's take a look at Euro New Zealand, right? So in here, the good thing about this is you can click in here, and it's going to open the chart for you, okay? It might take a little bit of time, but it's going to open it for you. So here it is, my Euro New Zealand pair. And we had 15 minutes. We had, remember, we had already a 4-hour breaker. I'm going to bring you to my 4-hour. So this was a 4-hour. The market retraced back, and this was pretty much the entry right over here. If I go to my 15 minutes, this would have been the entry right here, and then this one would have worked out for what, almost 55, 56 pips, okay, from here to here. Good thing about this is we are already going with the daily candle that was bearish. I'm sure the 4-hour candle was also bearish, so that was already thumbs up going my way, right? What we're looking for is reasons of how we can go in the same direction, reasons that that trade is going to go work my way much better than not, right? So right over here we had a bullish breaker, and as you can tell, it didn't work out that much. Why? Well, because most likely we were going against the trend on a 4-hour trend, and so that's why we should have entered on that. But right over here we had a nice bullish breaker, and let's see what was going on under the 4-hour time frame. Let's just have this open rectangle. All right, so right over here, this was the move. I'm not sure if you can tell, but we already had a bullish breaker, right? And this bearish breaker happened way after this move, and we would have not had a bearish breaker. We would have had a breaker right over here, AutoBlock, you know, this move right over here, and pretty much this move right here is this 15 move right over here, okay? This 15-minute entry. So this worked out like a charm. It worked out very nicely. Why? Because we were going with the 4-hour bullish breaker right over here. Also, we had a bullish breaker. The market went up, came back down to the zone in 15 minutes, and then from there, boom, it just went all the way up. You know, like I don't even know how many pips. It went up 180 pips, right? So, but that's why, because we were going, if we were going with the 4-hour bullish break, right? And most likely if we were going with a daily or 4-hour candle, then that would have been great. So this one right here we would ignore. This one right here we would take in. If right now we have a current AutoBlock, right, it's taking in the last bullish candle of this down move, and this is acting as a resistance, and the market most likely, you know, just acting up, you know, it might keep on going lower. We have a nice daily candle, so you can maybe sometimes even enter in here, or if you want to wait again for another re-entry, you can also, you know, just to give you a nice tip, you can also wait for a entry under the 5-minute going to the downside, right? But so right over here on this pair, we're only looking for selling opportunities. and because we had a nice breaker. So sometimes the fresher the breaker, the better it is. And so what else do we have here? We have here, you see, like we're just looking for confluence. We're just looking for things that can actually go my way. Like we have bullish candles, we have a bullish 4-hour breaker. So most likely I really would like to look for a bullish opportunity here, or if I'm looking for a selling opportunity, well, by going with the 1 hour and the daily, well, then at least I would like to have 4-hour candle going bearish, or best would be both of them. But so then I'm just completely going to ignore this until I get a new signal and see what's up, right? So this is when you get heads up of what's going on. Like over here, euro pound, we have 2 bearish candles, we have a 4-hour breaker and a 1-hour breaker. So now all we're waiting is for a bearish 15-minute or even 5-minute breaker to happen. So let's take a look at euro pound and see what is that pair can give me, right? So I go to euro pound right now. We had a bearish breaker that worked out like a charm over here. This is 15 minutes. It worked out very nicely. And why? Because we had most likely, let's just take a look at it, just to make sure. We just have to make sure that under the 4-hour, of course, you see this highlight over here, this yellow rectangle. We already had a bearish breaker in 4 hours. The market retraced, it was in the zone, and on that we got a 15-minute breaker. So this was like a charm entry, right? This was a good entry right over here. And I'm sure most likely on a daily we were going bearish as well. I mean, we can actually take a look at it. We just have to make sure. Maybe on the daily was not bearish. I'm not sure if you can see it. It's kind of hard to see it. This was the candle. But if the 4-hour candle was going bearish, this was the 4-hour information on that, then I would have entered on that, right? Because we have a bearish breaker on 4 hours. We just got a 15-minute breaker. And then if I leave my 4-hour candle is going my way, I would go in, right? I would test it out and see if it works out or not. But as you're able to tell, well, obviously it worked out very nicely, yeah? So it gave you the breaker right over here. The market retraced a little bit, and then from there it just pretty much dropped. So we're just waiting for this euro pound to give me, like, if you can tell right over here, we had a bullish breaker, right? It's going up, but it's really taking a hard time going up. Why? Because it's going against a nice current. It's going against these 2 candles. So why fight it? So don't just completely ignore it. And anyways, it's just not going based on our information of what we're looking for. So euro pound, we're looking for selling opportunities instead of buying, and we have 2 bearish candles. Why not? I'm looking for selling opportunities. So if I get a bearish breaker, then I would quickly know, hey, I was looking for a sell in here. I'm gonna sell, right? Right over here we have dollar CAD. We have a bullish breaker. We have bearish candles. So you can say to yourself, you know what, if I'm going to go based on my 4-hour and 15-minute breaker, then you just have to ignore this. You just have to wait for a 4-hour breaker to happen on dollar CAD and then enter on a sell, right? But if by any chance you say, I have a 1 hour, I have a 15 minutes, I have bearish candles over here, let me see if I can look for a selling opportunity. So let's take a look at dollar CAD and see what it gave, right? So this is 1 hour, this is 1 hour breaker. Pretty much the market retraced back into the zone, right? To this zone over here. And this is pretty much where it is. So 15 minutes, we had a selling breaker over here. It worked out very nicely. So yes, can you actually enter on those and see if it's gonna work out? Yes, of course. At least you want 4 things going your way. You want to have your 4-hour and your daily candle, and if you're going based on the 1 hour breaker, you could do it. but at least you want your daily candle going your way. If it's going against your way, don't even bother. Don't even, just ignore it and move on to another paired opportunity. So that's pretty much it, when it comes down to, how you're going to be able to filter out trades and just ignore some trades completely. Don't waste time, looking at it. Just wait until it actually happens. Let the market come to you. Don't be forcing entries that don't exist. That way you are going to make better, just better opportunities, better decisions, right? You're going to make better decisions out there. Like pound CAD, we have a bearish breaker, we have a bearish breaker here, and we have bullish. I mean, it's just today the market is just completely like upside down. It's not really giving us my information. Why? Well, because it's right now, this is a video that is done during Christmas time, so right now, of course, the market is died down, right? It's not a good market to be trading. But at least this is, so you can have heads up, what is it that we're looking for. So right now, let's say for bullish, bullish, I'm bullish here. I'll be hoping to get a bullish breaker on 15 minutes and enter on that. Then here, dollar yen, I would like to get a bearish entry over here. On euro pound, I would like to wait for a bearish entry over here. So now I'm like, if it happens, great. If it doesn't, great, right? At least I'm not entering on stupid trades. I'm not analyzing on crazy pairs out there. Euro New Zealand, this one obviously already happened. It was a nice entry to sell, but we missed it. Pound New Zealand, this one right now could be, we have unfortunately 4-hour breaker. I really would like this to be bearish already, to be looking for more selling, stronger selling opportunities on this one. So just, that's that. If you have any questions, please let me know. Like right now, we're saying we're about to buy bullish breaker on US 30. Oh goodness, did this market open already? So let's take a look at this over here. I'm not sure if this is open or not. Oh, it is open. So what do we have here? We have a nice daily candle, 4-hour candle. Okay, we just had a bullish breaker. Unfortunately, it was kind of too far from the low, and I like, you see this one right over here, it's really close to our low of the market. It worked out nicely. This is already a big gap. It could work, it could not, but unfortunately we have a bearish breaker on 4 hours. So this is a bearish. If I look at US 30, I can just, looking at the chart right here, I could just say, okay, wait a minute, I have a 1 hour and 4 hour breaker bearish. We are in a 1 hour zone right now, and we have bullish candles. Would I really want to try enter in here? I mean, yeah, I know we have a daily, but daily is mainly used if you want to enter using 1 hour, 4 hour breakers. You want to go based on the daily, but if you want to go based on 15 minutes, you want to be using 4 hours. So here it is. If you want to use daily, you want to be using either 1 hour or 4 hour breakers, right? So if you get a 1 hour breaker, let's say a 1 hour breaker bullish, and then your daily is bullish, then you would like to do that. Now, for 15 minutes, we want to go based on the 4 hour breaker, right? For 15 minutes, we want to go based on 4 hour breaker. For 5-minute entries, we want to go based on the 1 hour breaker. So write this down. The daily would be nice to use either the 1 hour or 4 hours. If you like more higher time frames, you want to be using now 15 minutes and 4 hour breakers. You use your direction, your higher time frame direction, and then you enter on 15 minutes. Then you can use your 1 hour breaker to enter under the 5-minute time frame, right? So that's what you would like to do. So let's say if if I had a bullish breaker on the 4 hours, then this would have been a nice entry. Yeah, although we do have bullish candles, but I don't want to risk it and have this thing turn around on me quicker than not, right? I don't want to be looking just for a few pips here and there. I want to be able to make sure that I do actually have a nice run. Like this is a nice run to the downside. This was a nice run to the upside. This was also a nice run to the downside. I don't want it to be quick and then turn around on me. I don't want to be risking that. So you just have to be extra careful, okay? So that's how you pretty much analyze the dashboard and how you trade the order block. It's quite simple, and but if you have any questions, please let me know. Write in the comments below. If you have any questions, you can always find me on the Telegram. Be part of the Telegram. I'm gonna be posting every day, like trades, ideas, the order block dashboard. You can meet all the traders in there, so please sign up. You're gonna have the link below on the Telegram. You can also have, if you're interested in the dashboard or the indicator, the indicator and the dashboard, go to my website. It's gonna have the link below as well. If you like this, if you want to be part of this group, of order block trading, and pretty much just have a simple trading, then like this video and subscribe, and pretty much I'll be next year, 2021, I'll be posting a lot of trade ideas just using the dashboard and just putting trade examples and how we can improve our trading and actually be profitable and be consistent, which is the main thing. Being consistent, you don't have to be right to actually make money in trading, okay? You don't have to be right, but you do have to be patient. You have to wait for the market to come to you and don't make silly mistakes, right? That's what we're really trying to do over here. So please join the Telegram. If you're interested in the indicators, you would get the dashboard right over here along with the just pretty much this indicator right over here along with other indicators. You will get ideas on how to trade it. You're pretty much getting an idea already in here. And like and subscribe, because again, I will be posting a lot of videos next year on how to trade this strategy much better. All right, traders, thank you, and I will see you in the next following videos.